Sometimes a story comes along that just stops you in your tracks. It's a story about a young person with so much potential, so much light, whose life was taken far too soon. This is the story of Blaze Bernstein. Blaze was a 19-year-old college student from California. He was smart, he was funny, and he was loved by so many people. He was also gay and Jewish, two beautiful parts of who he was. He had a bright future ahead of him, full of promise and all the wonderful things he was going to do in the world. But in January 2018, that future was stolen from him in the most senseless and cruel way imaginable. His life was cut short by an act of pure hatred. The world lost someone truly special when Blaze was killed. Imagine being a parent and getting the news that your child, who you have loved and protected and dreamed for, is gone. The pain is something most of us can't even begin to comprehend. For Blaze's family, this nightmare became their reality. They had to face the devastating truth that their beloved son was murdered simply because of who he was. The person responsible was filled with a terrible darkness, a hatred for people who were different from him. It's a kind of darkness that tries to tear communities apart and spread fear, leaving nothing but sorrow in its wake for everyone it touches. Learning the details of what happened is heartbreaking. Blaze was taken by someone he knew from his past, a person who had become involved with a neo-Nazi group. This wasn't a random act of violence, it was a targeted hate crime. The killer's motives were rooted in anti-Semitism and homophobia, two of the oldest and ugliest forms of prejudice. It's a chilling reminder that hate is not just an idea, it can have deadly consequences. It shows us that words of hate can lead to actions of hate, and that we have a responsibility to stand up against it wherever we see it, before it can cause such irreversible harm and devastation. The loss of Blaze sent ripples of shock and grief through his community and far beyond. People were horrified that such a thing could happen, especially to someone so young and full of life. It's a tragedy that forces us all to look at the world around us and ask ourselves some very hard questions. How can we let this kind of hate grow? What can we do to stop it? Blaze's story is a painful reminder of the work that still needs to be done to make our world a safer, more accepting place for everyone. His light may have been extinguished by hate, but the memory of his bright spirit would soon ignite something truly powerful. In the face of such an unimaginable tragedy, it would have been so easy for Blaze's family to be consumed by anger and despair. No one would have blamed them. The loss of a child is a wound that never truly heals, and the injustice of his murder was a heavy burden to carry. His parents, Gideon Bernstein and Jean Pepper, felt a pain that words can hardly describe. They had lost their son, their beautiful boy, to a force of pure malice. They had to navigate a world that suddenly felt darker and colder, a world where their son's laughter would no longer be heard. Every day was a struggle against the overwhelming weight of their grief. But here is where this story takes an incredible turn. Instead of letting hate have the final word, Blaze's parents made a courageous and truly inspiring choice. They decided that they would not let darkness win. They knew that their son's life was about so much more than the way it ended. Blaze was a person who brought joy and kindness into the world, and they decided that his legacy would be one of love, not hate. They chose to fight back, not with more anger, but with the very opposite of what took their son: goodness, compassion, and a determination to make the world a better place for everyone. This incredible strength led them to create a movement called Blaze It Forward. The idea is simple but so powerful. It's a call to action for every single one of us to perform acts of kindness in Blaze's honor. It's about taking the love we have in our hearts and putting it out into the world. His mom, Jean, said it best. Blaze's life mattered, and he has a legacy: to inspire people to be better, to be kinder. They transformed their personal tragedy into a public mission, a way for Blaze's light to continue shining and touching lives, creating a ripple effect of positivity that could push back against the tide of hatred. The Blaze It Forward movement became a beacon of hope. It showed everyone that even in our darkest moments, we have a choice. We can choose to build, or we can choose to destroy. We can choose to love, or we can choose to hate. Blaze's family chose love. They chose to build a legacy of kindness that would outlive the hate that took their son. They channeled their grief into a force for good, inspiring thousands of people to join them. They showed the world that the most powerful response to hate is not more hate, but an overwhelming wave of love and compassion that can heal and unite us. So, what does it mean to blaze it forward? It's actually very simple, and that's the beauty of it. It doesn't require a grand gesture or a lot of money. It's about the small, everyday choices we make to be good to one another. It could be as simple as smiling at a stranger, holding a door open for someone, or paying for the coffee of the person behind you in line. It's about seeing another human being and choosing to connect with them in a positive way, even for just a moment. These small acts might seem insignificant on their own, but when we all do them, they add up to create a huge wave of goodness. The movement encourages us to think about how our actions affect others. You could volunteer your time at a local shelter, donate blood, or help a neighbor carry their groceries. You could reach out to a friend who is going through a tough time and just listen. You could stand up for someone who is being treated unfairly, or speak out against a hateful comment you hear. Each of these actions is a way of honoring Blaze's memory. It's about actively choosing to put more good into the world to counteract the bad. It's about building bridges between people, not walls, and strengthening our communities through empathy and care. Blaze's family has given us so many beautiful examples. They've encouraged people to plant trees, create art, or support causes that promote tolerance and understanding. The idea is to do something positive that makes the world a little brighter, just like Blaze did. Think about what you're good at, what you love to do, and how you can use that to spread kindness. If you love to bake, share some cookies with your coworkers. If you're a great writer, send someone a letter telling them how much they mean to you. Every single act of kindness, no matter how small it seems, is a victory for love over hate. Ultimately, to blaze it forward is to live with intention. It's about waking up each day and making a conscious decision to be a source of light. It's a promise to ourselves and to Blaze's memory that we will choose compassion over cruelty, understanding over judgment, and unity over division. It's a powerful way to take a stand and say that hate will not win. By participating in this movement, we are not just honoring one young man's life. We are actively building the kind of world that Blaze deserved to live in, a world where everyone is safe, valued, and loved for who they are. Blaze Bernstein's life mattered. It mattered to his family, his friends, and his community. And it still matters to all of us today because his story has become a powerful symbol of hope. Though his life was tragically cut short, his spirit lives on through the incredible work of his family and the Blaze It Forward movement. His legacy is not defined by the hatred that took him, but by the love that has blossomed in his name. He has inspired a global community to take action, to fight for a better world, and to never, ever let hate have the last word. His life was a gift, and his legacy is a call to action for all of us. The courage shown by Blaze's family is truly remarkable. In their darkest hour, they found the strength to light a candle rather than curse the darkness. They have stood in courtrooms, spoken to crowds, and shared their painful story over and over again, all in the hope of preventing another family from experiencing their pain. They are a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the incredible power of love to overcome even the most profound loss. They have taught us that grief and love can coexist, and that one of the most powerful ways to honor someone we've lost is to live out the values they embodied. The message they share is one that our world desperately needs to hear. We must stand up to hate in all its forms, whether it's anti-Semitism, homophobia, racism, or any other kind of prejudice. We cannot be silent bystanders when we see injustice. We have to speak up, show support, and create communities where everyone feels safe and accepted. Blaze's story is a tragic reminder of what happens when hate is allowed to fester. But his family's response is a hopeful blueprint for how we can fight back, with kindness, with community, and with an unwavering commitment to love. Let's all choose to be a part of Blaze's legacy. Let's choose kindness. Let's choose to see the good in others and to add more good to the world. Every time you perform an act of kindness, you are honoring Blaze Bernstein. You are helping to build a world that is a little bit brighter, a little bit warmer, and a lot more loving. You are proving that one act of hate can never extinguish the light of millions of acts of kindness. Let's all blaze it forward, today and every day. Let's do it for Blaze, and let's do it for each other. Be kind to one another.